Ready to Win, the backstory. Welcome to the backstory of Ready to Win, the appropriate name I've given to my new horse racing system. As you may know, I've never released a pure betting system before, and frankly that's because I've never had something that I thought people would be able to use easily and profitably and whilst avoiding long losing runs before. In August last year, I surveyed my readers at ggs.co.uk and I asked them, which of the following is the most important factor for you in a horse racing betting system? Just about 400 people took the time to respond, and their answers didn't surprise me, as I think it's what we all look for in a betting system for horse racing. Specifically, 56% said the most important factor was long-term profits. About a quarter, 23%, said they wanted a system with short losing runs, and about 10%, or 11 in fact, said that low liabilities were the most important factor. So that's fully 90% of all the people who responded who told me that they wanted a low liability system with short losing runs, these two tending to go hand in hand, and they were interested most of all in long-term profits. Since then I've been working on identifying this holy grail, and believe me, I've come up against a lot of brick walls in my analysis. But recently I stumbled on something that I think is truly fantastic. Its record in the past 2 weeks, for instance, is first, third, first, second, first. Now, obviously I have to tell you that this is untypical, but not by much. In the following pages I'm going to share with you some facts about my Ready to Win system, so sit back and absorb these numbers. You can see the full results at ready2win.co.uk/results.htm. If you have any questions, then do please send me an email at support@summonbonham.co.uk. So, 10-year results. As I mentioned in my introduction, the one thing that stands out above all others in the minds of betting system users is long-term profitability. So I made that the core focus of my systems research with Ready to Win, and I'm delighted to say that Ready to Win has a 10-year track record of success. The year-on-year profitability can be seen in the table below, but this barely scratches the surface. In the table we can see that in the year 2000 we would have made a profit of £1,356. By 2005 that would have been £8,641, and by 2009 that would have been £21,782. The graph illustrates this well. We can clearly see that, with the exception of the flat year in 2005, where the system actually made a loss of half a point, there has been incredibly consistent profit in all of the other 9 years. And it's this consistency that is at the heart of Ready to Win. There are very few long losing runs. In fact, the longest run in over 2,200 bets was a losing run of 16. Now that would be quite unnerving for sure, but with such a track record I think it's obvious that sitting tight will yield dividends. Now let's look at the strike rate of the system. The key component in terms of keeping the losing runs to a minimum is a high strike rate. The higher a system's strike rate, the less likely a user is to incur those dispiriting voids of money staked, no money returned. Ready to Win has been delivering a winner or more for every 3 runners since the year 2000, and again there's no reason to believe that that will change anytime soon. Here's a table with the breakdown of runners, winners and strike rates for each year. We can see that in the year 2000 the strike rate was 37.16%. In the year 2005, the flat year, the strike rate was 33.07%. In every year since then it's been over 36.86%. In other words, in the last 4 years it's been nearer 2 out of 5 rather than 1 in 3. So in fact the strike rate has improved in the last 4 years. Last year Ready to Win enjoyed 2 winners for every 5 runners. This means that if you were betting all horses at odds of 6 to 4, you would break even. But the average winning odds of Ready2Win runners is just under 2 to 1. In fact, to be precise, it's 1.931102 to 1. And again, in the graph you can see the incredible consistency of the system over a decade of results, with the most recent results showing the highest strike rate. By adding a staking plan, we're able to improve things even further, and this is because of the robust and consistent nature of Ready2Win, which lends itself very well to a betting bank and, as I say, a staking plan. So if we take the results data from above and apply a 5% of bank rolling stake to it, we see some very interesting numbers. Before I show you those, let me just make sure that everybody understands what I mean by a 5% rolling stake. In a nutshell, I mean you bet 5% of whatever your bank is at any given time. So, for instance, if your starting bank was £100, your first bet would be 5% of that, which is £5. If that bet won at 2 to 1, your bank would now be £110. So your next bet would be 5% of £110, which is £5.50. If the first bet lost, your bank would reduce to £95 and your next bet would be £4.75. Anyway, enough with the maths. Here's what I mean in real terms using a starting bank of just £200 and therefore a first bet of £10. In this table we can see that in the year 2000 our bank is at £267. By 2004 our bank is £1,128.67. By the end of last year our bank is £25,393. Remember, we started with a bank of just £200. Notice here that 2005, the year we just about broke even with level stakes, has more of an impact on the bank with a progressive staking system like this. But also note how quickly the bank recovers and goes on to post record highs. As I say, this was with a starting bank of just £200 and with a first bet of just £10. So there's no unachievable claims here, just long-term profits and high strike rates, meaning short losing runs. What people say about Ready2Win. I sent the Ready2Win system to some of my Platinum Group students for their thoughts. Bear in mind that these guys are currently working on their own profitable betting systems, so they're serious about horse racing and betting systems, and they're not easily pleased. Here's what they had to say. Ready2Win is an excellent product and meets the needs of any punter, both serious enthusiasts and those who just enjoy a flutter now and again. That's Nick H. Macy said, the strategy itself is very straightforward and makes the daily selections very simple, as all the info you need is on the race card. Having proof that the strategy has a long history of profit does give a feeling of confidence in the selections. Kieran added, I've tested Ready2Win for a period of time and found it to be profitable. In fact, during the period I tested, it has exceeded its long-term profit expectations quite significantly. I would have no hesitation in recommending Ready2Win to anybody wishing to add to their portfolio of profitable racing systems. And Fred said, looking at Matt's Ready2Win system was a joy from the start. The system deals with logic and the selection process doesn't involve any mysteries or long analysis of statistics. This reflects a system that's well worth considering as one to add to your portfolio. I will certainly be following it. I think the long-term profitability has a real chance of surviving dark patches. It meets the "this is what I've been looking for" syndrome admirably.